Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steven Georgella.
And my name is Philip Trepetowski.
And this is the Automotive Market Minute, in which may or may not take just over a minute or so. Here we go, trends from August. First of all, we're going to discuss the consumer sentiment, in which dropped over the last few weeks, quite significantly. Second of all is the average MSRP and how important it is to you as a dealership to be watching that average MSRP in today's market. The Fountain Ford University, our first month of secret shopper results, in which has one key bullet, in which will be very, very important to your dealership. And then finally, top performing offers during today's market. So with regards to consumer sentiment, Phil, please.
All right, so in August, you can see that consumer sentiment ultimately ended up falling by about 4.2% in August. Why would that be? Well, the Fed continues to keep increasing rates. The CPI, or the inflation, actually increased last month. The stock market is declining. Gas prices are continuing to increase. And student loan payments are starting back up here in September and October. So because of those reasons, we are starting to see consumer sentiment, which has been on a positive trend, start to decline in recent weeks.
And it's interesting, obviously it's correlative, but we know a lot of dealers slowed down over the final 10 days of August. And again, could be causation, could be correlation, but it definitely seems like they're tied together.
Yep, we are still seeing some strength in consumer spending, but it is a little bit worrisome that consumer sentiment is headed downwards. But makes sense when you consider everything that is going on. One thing that I did want to touch on here is the average MSRP. So on the screen here, you can see the Tesla price tweaks that have ultimately happened so far of this year. Whether you look at the Model X or the Model S, you can see that Tesla has cut their prices by about 26% just this year. Because of those items that we mentioned, higher interest rates, CPI continuing to not be under control, well above the Fed's inflation target of 2%. Tesla, in order to maintain market share and continue to move volume, they are cutting their prices to ensure that their brand stays affordable so that they can continue taking market share. This is something that we have really been focusing on with our dealers, specifically on the used side. Dealers have a certain level of control over their new average MSRP, but it's largely out of their control. Their used average MSRPs, though, it is well within their control, and we're starting to see dealers who are focusing on that and trying to target a lower price point of around $25,000, sub $25,000. Those dealers are still having success moving volume. Some of our dealers who have an average MSRP of $40,000 plus, high 30s, 37, 38K, those are the dealers who are starting to struggle in terms of moving used units. Steven, anything to add?
Yeah, real quick. I was discussing this last week, and it's a bit anecdotal, if you will, but it's quite interesting. We're seeing that the franchises and that the factories are having a very difficult job making EVs profitable. Very, very difficult job. You talk about Ford, for example, in which had the Lightning supposed to come out at $40,000, ends up coming out 50% higher than they thought. And now you have Elon over here who said, okay, well, I knew it was going to be very expensive for these factories to produce EVs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them come out with all this infrastructure, require that their dealerships do all this work, and then I'm going to drop prices. And maybe you could say that he was dropping prices purely because of where the market's at and where interest rates are at. But man, if he was smart enough to allow all the factories to go all in, and then he was like, hey, now that I know you guys are all the way exposed, now I'm going to drop my prices. If that is in fact his strategy, which again, it may just be like, well, of course it was, but you could put factories out of business if you have that much power. So anywho, go I think the next slide is fantastic. Go ahead and break that one down, Phil.
So yeah, as the Fed has effectively increased interest rates, what does that mean for the average consumer? Well, it means that purchasing power has weakened. And here you can see a dealership that we just recently started working with over the last 6 months or so. They have been able to effectively take their average MSRP from around the high 20,000s down into around 21, 22,000. And if you look at the core conversion rate, or the rate at which website users are becoming core leads, as they had a higher average MSRP, a lot of the market was priced out. What do those users do? They defect. They do not become leads. However, as they have been able to effectively chip away and lower their average MSRP over time, you can see that they now appeal to more customers. And as a result, they're actually making more out of the website traffic that they're generating. Their core conversion rate went from 1.24% in May all the way up to 2.2% in August.
Yeah, between changing up the average MSRP, optimizing the site, and then also having the ad system, seasoned like an iron skillet, it's very good to see that the things in which we forecasted 9 and 12 months ago are in fact materializing, and that the counsel that we can give our dealers from their own data by aggregating it is just good counsel. And it's just you never know until you have hindsight, and in fact is the case that we need to drop that MSRP dramatically, especially for those dealers that are at $40,000 on their average used car.
Absolutely. And just to make one more note, it's not with absolute certainty that if you do lower your average MSRP that this will happen. However, this is one dealer example, but on average, as more of our dealers have started to target a lower average MSRP, we are seeing this pretty much across the board. So we thought that this dealer example illustrated that really well, and we wanted to share that with you guys. Moving on.
So Fountain Ford University, this is the second to last slide here. So this one is really been special after our first month. Okay, proactively bringing up the trade. It's a 42% increase in appointment schedule rates. 42%. Without, it's 24%. With, it's 42%. And the fascinating part here is all this is a choice of words. All this is them focusing and making sure that they're doing the right thing. And a dealer can take their lead volume and immediately increase the value of their lead volume by focusing on bringing up the trade on the front end. And so yeah, just a simple tip that came out of the information or the results from last month. And finally, top performing offers. We've run about 28,000 ads over the last 8-9 years since really focusing on ads and not on the analytics side. And here's what's been fascinating. The cash off, or the percentage off, has never performed to the degree that 0%, even though only 5 or 10% of all the people that are walking in can even qualify for that. And it might be even lower today. But we're having dealers that are buying down rates, that are figuring out every little thing they can do to get people to make a 0% offer to get people in their showroom. And so just keep that in mind. We have a lot of different creative ideas that our dealers have put in place, or creative strategies, I should say, that dealers have put in place in the month of September that are immediately reaping benefits, mostly because of the overviewing or observing their August data. Like, for example, the 1.9% offer that came out on Jeep Gladiators and sold out most Jeep Gladiators in most of our CDJR dealers. So we've been sharing that information with our other dealers, and they're immediately seeing success in the month of September by introducing these 0% offers and other low APRs. So yeah. So Phil, any other comments on that?
We've been testing out a variety of different offers, lease offers, off MSRP, as you mentioned, 0%, low APR. It seems like anything above 2.9%, those 3.9, 4.9% offers, they're not resonating very well with the market. But if you have a rate that's 0%, 1.9%, if you're a dealership, make sure you're taking advantage, because the market is looking for those offers.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the results in the month of September, especially because of what happened in the month of August, at the end of August, as consumer sentiment dropped. We've definitely seen a soft start to September across the board. And then that's including 17 different states now. So we look forward to seeing how September washes out, especially as rates may go up. The Fed may raise rates again. So yeah, for myself and Phil Trebetowski, this is the Automotive Market Minute, and we'll see you guys in the month of October.